If you're looking to buy Virgin Galactic stock, then please keep watching because we're going to look at the company's recent news, how's the market treating it, and what are the technicals telling us, and most importantly, what should be the best trading approach. As the market remains very volatile, we should always be careful about which positions, which stocks to choose, as well as their individual timing and exposure for both entry and exit. Before the video begins, if you would like to see more stock analysis videos like this one, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Also, please remember to check out the affiliate links down in the descriptions if you would like to support my channel with no extra cost for you when using those services. With that being said, let's jump right into it. So, for short-term analysis, the short-term trend of Virgin Galactic has been a very timid attempt to recover from previous losses with a low to around $3.40, which, given the circumstances, remains a relatively strong sign. The potential reason why there might be a recent recovery is because the Nasdaq has recovered in general from the previous losses, but of course, this may be a temporary solution to a much longer-term tendency that still points downward. In the long term, though, the price dynamics of Virgin Galactics have been under significant sell-off challenges, along with a capital outflow which may not have ended just yet, because the general expectation of a Nasdaq sector-wide price correction has yet to occur, and this reality is difficult to reverse in the foreseeable future. Furthermore, Virgin Galactic is a company that requires a lot of convincing and has to improve its own fundamentals, which for the time being may not have been demonstrated in what it can really deliver. Now, let's also take a look at other technicals of the stock. The trading volume of Virgin Galactic has recently been around 5.3 million shares, compared to an average volume of 13.3 million shares. Over the previous 52-week period, the price has fluctuated between $8.58 and $2.98. The volume of shares traded tells us how many shares are being bought and sold at any given time in the market, and if there's enough liquidity to support a trading strategy. If the float is very thin, it would be very easy to influence the stock price, but low liquidity could mean that the demand remains limited. When we compare the current volume against the average volume, there might be a possibility for trend reversal or breakthrough if the difference is very large. For example, if the stock were to break through, the current volume could be significantly higher than the average volume. The market cap for Virgin Galactic is currently around $1.1 billion, compared to an enterprise value of around $640 million. As we compare the current price to the historical price fluctuations, the stock is 15% higher than the 1-month low, 28% higher than the 3-month low, and 28% higher than the 52-week low. On the options market, giving us a hint about the market sentiment about where the stock price is likely going to point toward, the implied volatility is currently around 107%, compared to the historical volatility of around 100%. The put-call volume ratio is currently at 0.6. It's normal for most stocks to also have a higher put option volume than what they deserve, as many institutional investors who have long positions may hedge their risks by buying put options. The most recent volume of options traded has been 15,000 contracts a day versus the 30-day average of 34,000. In terms of open interest, the most recent volume of open interest is around 420,000 contracts versus the 30-day average of 426,000 contracts. The current short interest is around 24% of the total floats, and 55% of the transactions are coming out of the dark pools. Usually, if the short interest is above 15% of the total volume and a significant portion of the short volume coming out of the dark pools, This may suggest that there are institutional positions taken to short the stock and that there would be potentials for a short squeeze. In terms of the shareholder structure, institutional shareholders hold about 36% of its outstanding shares. The biggest shareholders include Vanguard, State Street, and BlackRock. Usually, it is best to see some institutional participation when holding a stock long term, because it does offer a layer of stability and a token of reliability in the medium to long term. It means that the market is confident that it's going to deliver value in the long term, which is a very important factor to consider. I personally consider that the minimum threshold should be between 25 to 30% for institutional ownership. There may be many exceptions to this rule, of course, as there will always be great companies, mostly owned by retail as well. Founded by Sir Richard Branson back in 2004, Virgin Galactic aims to make commercial space travel a reality. The company focuses on developing space travels with vehicles that will eventually carry paid passengers into space. Virgin Galactic made significant progress in recent years. In 2018, the company completed its first test flight with crew on board, marking a major milestone and generating a lot of excitement. Ever since then, they have continued to refine their technology and to keep working on their capabilities. Now, let's also turn our attention on the stock itself. Virgin Galactic, historically speaking, went public back in 2019, and it can be purchased on various stock exchanges, including the NYSE. Investors can buy and sell shares of Virgin Galactic just like any other publicly traded company. Since its IPO back in 2019, the stock experienced very significant volatilities. It's important to note that investing in individual stocks comes with risks, and past performances don't always indicate future results. The stock saw both highs and lows influenced by various factors like the company announcements, the market sentiment, and the industry trends. Many factors can influence the stock price of Virgin Galactic. First of all, the positive developments in the company's space tourism program, such as successful test flights or new partnerships, tend to have a positive impact on the stock. On the other hand, setbacks or delays in the program can have a very negative impact as well. In addition to the company's specifics, broader market and industry trends can also influence the stock in the short and medium term. For example, the increased interest in space exploration, advancements in technology, or changes in regulatory framework about space travels can impact the stock price. It's important for investors to stay informed about these trends. As with any investment, there are risks associated with investing into Virgin Galactic stock. Some of the risks include the company's ability to successfully commercialize its space tourism program, the competition from many other competitors in this market. Investors should carefully consider those risks before making any decisions. Now, for anyone considering investing into Virgin Galactic, it's very important to conduct thorough research and to consider their own investment goals and risk tolerance. It may also be beneficial to consult with financial advisors before making such calls. So to wrap up, Virgin Galactic is an innovative company aiming to take space tourism accessible to the public. Its stock, traded under the ticker symbol SPCE, gathered a lot of attention from investors. However, it's essential to approach investing in individual stocks with caution and to be aware of the risks involved. So with that being said, my recommendation is to eventually buy Virgin Galactic shares. But for the time being, I believe that Virgin Galactic yet has to demonstrate its capacity to hold the $4 level first before testing the $5 level. I would personally recommend to commit between 1 to 3% of your portfolio. I would also recommend to split the allocation in batches of 20% at a time over 3 to 6 months so that you may purchase more in case of retracements.